Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, stand-up comedy and lifestyle podcast I host here out of my apartment. My name's David Bakker. My guest today is Whitney Rayner. Whitney is a newer stand-up comedian. She started the last few months, but she's already had a lot of success. She has been a guest on the Michael Colyar radio show. She also is open for him on a Saturday night. And she performs here in Greenville and is already getting booked around the state of South Carolina. Whitney and I talked about dumpster fire dating stories in Greenville. I thought those were pretty interesting. I learned a lot about what not to do. She shared a story about accidentally taking what she thought was speed. So that was weird. And then she shared her life advice and perspective in comedy. Really hope you enjoy getting to know Whitney. Here's the interview. Hey, welcome back to another interview on I Did This Instead of Killing Myself. Whitney Rayner.
Hello.
Our first girl comic on the show. Very excited.
I'm honored.
Yeah. And thanks for coming. Whitney's already made it clear my place is too messy. So I have some homework.
Yep. Like this is a typical guy's apartment.
You can kind of see in the angle on the phone a little bit of how trash the kitchen is, but it's invisible to me.
I know. When I said, you cleaned up for me, he thought I was serious.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no.
It's been worse, actually. But
that's concerning, but
are you you're a neat freak, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Like serial killer clean.
Yeah.
Is how I call it.
Like dust, everything spick and span.
Yep.
Do you have a pet?
Nope.
No pets.
Too messy.
So you're single, but you're not a cat girl yet.
No.
Gotcha.
I'm a plant person. I have a couple plants.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's like a baby pet, I guess.
Yeah.
That's something maybe I could handle. But yeah, I'm glad to have Whitney on the show. Whitney's great. By way of like intros, I guess. Whitney, you've been doing stand-up comedy for 2 months?
Yeah, 2.5 maybe.
Okay. So Whitney's new to it, but she's also had a ton of success so far already. So Michael Colyar, did I have that name right?
Yeah, Collier.
Yep. So Michael Colyar is a big name comic that came through Greenville a couple weeks ago, and he saw Whitney do a set at the open mic night, and he asked her to open for him on Saturday night and then be a guest on his morning radio show. That
was insane. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah. I was excited for you, and also I was insanely jealous.
Yeah, I'm like, this is too lucky. It's got to go downhill quick after this.
Well, yeah, you take what you could get, but that was great. I saw. What was it like to go on? Because for those of you guys who don't know, but the weekend shows at the Comedy Zone are usually, those are for celebrity comics. The show's packed. There's like, I don't know how many seats that place holds, but probably like 200 people or whatever.
Yeah.
So what was that like to perform in front of like all those people?
So much fun. The fact that like every seat is full and like just all these eyes on you. Like before it's terrifying. I was jumping up and down, like kind of screaming to myself. Then I get on stage and I just thought, this is awesome. Like you feel the energy. And of course, I didn't do as great as I wanted, but it was still really fun.
Were you like the very first person to go up, or was there a host in front of you?
Jarrell hosted and did a little bit to warm them up.
Yeah, Jarrell's great.
And then I just kind of kept it lukewarm until Michael got on stage.
That's hard though. It's hard. I'm trying to think. Did it? Because like I've been to shows like that just as an audience member, but usually early on, there's like the servers are still kind of floating around, taking orders. Not everybody's focused on the stage, so it could be a lot. I'd think to maybe get there and keep their attention.
And especially hearing she's this brand new girl, and here I come talking about my dating life. Like, who is she, and why do I care?
And Michael Colyar is black comedian. Was it an all black audience?
Primarily black audience, and then some older white folks who also did not care. Okay,
gotcha. Yeah, performing in front of black and white audiences is very, very different. Or like, yeah, there can be like a different.
The night before, we were in Orangeburg with an all white, like mom kind of crowd.
Sure.
And I was scared of that too, but they were.
Yeah.
Hooting and hollering the whole time.
Well, I think it can be a unique opening for somebody because, like, if you're opening for Michael Colyar, had you even seen his stand-up before?
I did earlier that day.
You watched some?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen much of his, but like the style or energy could be completely different. So what they're expecting to see may be different from what you're bringing.
I mean, he's very animated, which I feel
he?
like I'm kind of animated, so
yeah.
thought that would have matched up, translated.
No, I'm sure it went fine. I'm sure it did. And I did see you on the radio show afterwards the next week. That was really cool.
That was cool until my parents saw it, but you have to have some haters, so
yeah,
taking that in stride.
Right. Yeah, it's always a little bit awkward when the folks see like what your material is.
Right.
If it's a little edgy or whatever.
Because I've kept my Twitter clean for over 10 years for them too, because they follow me and they like all my stuff. So everything's squeaky clean. So this was just what?
Yeah.
Just so different.
So the second you have any little bit of like innuendo or maybe sexual
Right.
PG-13
like,
stuff.
that's not my wit.
Oh my gosh. Why not my sweet Whitney? No.
Oh, yes.
That's no, that's all right. I'm sure. I mean, they support you in your creativity though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how they're putting it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I think of when I think of you is Polly Pocket for some reason. That's one of your jokes.
Yeah, one of my
But
little.
you're single in the Greenville dating scene, and a lot of your
Sure
material is
am.
about that. So
And how it's not changing anytime soon.
yeah, what's it like dating in Greenville? Like, you don't have to do your bit or anything, but
Right.
like for real, like how's it been so far?
It's just a lot of the same guy over and over, I feel like. You just see that they're all wearing the ball cap. They all went to Clemson or the other one nearby. They love sports and hiking, the two things I hate.
Yeah.
So I make it very clear on my profiles. If you want someone who likes sports or to go hiking, swipe left.
Yeah.
So I don't get much.
So is it mostly the Clemson guys?
I guess so.
I can't stand the Clemson.
I kind of don't pay attention because I don't care.
Yeah. I don't like the Clemson stereotype. I might get crap for saying that, but they wear like khaki shorts and like the polo.
That's just the South
They
in general.
They all wear the class ring. Is that the South in general? Well, anyway, I don't like it.
Yeah, the class ring I think is kind of their thing, but the khakis,
That's
the
so
polo
obnoxious, dude.
in Virginia and Atlanta, that's where I've
the
been.
Purple polo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't escape it.
I'm from the Midwest, but the Ohio State played against Clemson, and I was at a sports bar here, and there were all these Clemson fans. I don't even like Ohio State, but I was rooting so hard for Ohio State to beat the crap out of them just to
I'll
see.
root for a team out of spite in situations like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not? And the hiking thing, dude, I hate hiking.
I hate Mother Nature.
You do? Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
That's common.
it's fine. We have beef.
Yeah. Is there a reason? Like, did you try to do it at one point?
I just don't have fun.
Yeah.
It's just walking outside. The view's not that great usually. And then I smell like outside and I'm tired. I can just get beer and nachos without the adventure.
Yeah.
And then
okay.
look up a picture of outside.
So beer and nachos.
Usually the incentive people give me.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this hike and then we'll go get lunch somewhere. Go to this brewery.
Yeah.
Tell Mother Nature I say, what's up? I'll see you after.
Yeah. When I moved from Atlanta to here, I love Greenville, but the selling point was, it's outdoors.
Same. Yeah.
You can mountain bike. You can kayak. You can, by the way. Greenville's awesome for
It's
that.
great for that if you love it.
If you're dumb and are into that. Just kidding. You're not.
There's also great restaurants and a downtown to bebop around.
Yeah.
It's more our speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done the mountain biking thing, and
I would knock my
have
teeth
you
out.
have you ever done mountain biking?
No.
It's kind of trippy. Like, the trails are not like that well defined. You could fall easily.
I
and
believe
your butt
it.
hurts after. Like, it's serious. It's like, and it's so long. Like, I had no idea when the day was gonna end.
I'd rather take a spin class. Call
Spin
it a
class,
day.
yeah, and they have that here too. But okay, so a lot of the same guys, and the guys are pretty polite.
They're very polite. Just awkward.
They're awkward.
They're a lot awkward. I'm like, come on, let's get the self-confidence up. There's a lot of word vomit where you look at them and you both are like, that was weird.
They're word vomiting.
There was one guy recently. I was like, so what did you do last night? Did you go out? Did you stay in? And he said, I stayed in and I watched Law and Order SVU. It was really sweaty. And I was like,
Sweaty?
because he was under a lot of blankets and the blankets got hot. And that's what he explained after. And I'm like, is this the story we want to lead with? I almost wanted to like break the ice and be like, you want to like try that again? But I just let it roll. I was like, I'm going to watch him suffer. It was really sweaty because he had some blankets on. Then it got sweaty. And then he just didn't care to take them off.
What does this guy do for a living?
And this is what I deal with. Some engineer. He's smart.
Engineering. That's why. Engineering, sometimes they're not, I don't know. Socially.
Kind of awkward. He said his personality is interchangeable with all of his friends.
What?
I know.
I'm not unique or special. We all have the same.
Right. I'm like, come on.
You could date any one of them. Huh.
God bless him.
Yeah, bless his heart. What's the dumbest thing a guy's ever done on a date? I mean, those sound pretty dumb. Done or said?
Lot of dumb stuff. Off the top of my head, that's hard. There was one guy who was like, watch this, and then pushed me up against my car and like kissed my cheek as if that was like some seductive move. And I was like, that was really strange.
Oh my God.
I think I was like 19 or something. I was like,
watch this.
Watch this.
Like he's freaking
like he was about to be hot.
Oh my God.
I was like, wow. Watch out for you.
Oh my God.
I think I was like, I'm going to go home now.
Yeah. Jeez.
There's one guy I mentioned I had swine flu to him, and he thought that was like so funny. So anytime he wanted to like kiss, he'd be like, swine flu. And I'd be like,
dude, these
no. I find the weirdos.
These guys sound awful.
I get the freaks.
And now you're in stand-up.
Yep, and I've just accepted being alone.
Well, so stand-up, like, big credit to Whitney, because, like, girls that do it are definitely in the minority. Like, it's mostly guys, and we can be idiots and very vulgar and, you know, not vulgar towards you, but just in general.
I was like, I'm vulgar right back.
Right. I mean, I think people in our group are pretty respectful.
Yeah.
Hopefully they are.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But it's kind of guys just being guys. So how have you enjoyed so far, like, being one of the only girls that's a kind of a regular and really doing well at it, but hanging out with our stupid knuckleheads? It's
the same as work. At work, I'm one of the only girls. So not only am I used to it, but, like, I kind of like being one of the guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a very girly girl in, like, my real life. I have all my girlfriends, but it's kind of fun to just kind of, like, see the other side and get to bro out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, as bad as it is, I know we're evening the playing field and everything, but I like being the only girl. Gives me, like you said, gives me an edge.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely... You stand out compared to us. Like, I think people, like, on an open mic, after you see, like, you know, 5 of us who look like me, Kelby, or Matt, or whatever, like, Whitney comes, it's a refreshing stage presence to see. Whitney's very smiley on stage, got a lot of energy, and when I first saw you, I thought you did acting or something.
I've heard that before.
Because you're very just, like...
I'm just cha-cha on how I talk and express myself. But someone said, were you a theater kid? And
yes.
So bad I wanted to say, I made fun of them in high school. I wanted to give them a swirly. But, like, that's a compliment here now.
I guess
like,
it is, yeah.
Yeah, because at first I was like, ew, theater, no.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, this is good now. Yeah.
It is kind of good. But I think theater kids can kind of be a little bit extra, too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
not
like
always
the
good.
You're not like that. You're pretty down to earth. And
I like the rawness of stand-up, and it's like you're not that polished and that well-spoken.
No.
But it's like it's a real person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is nice.
It's funny. Sometimes, like, the more polished your bits get, the worse it goes because it sounds rehearsed, if that makes sense. So you kind of
almost lose the vulnerability in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was Bill Burr who said something about that. Like, he has to trick himself out of, like, having his act so memorized that it's like he could be doing his taxes and delivering his act. He's not even there.
Right.
He's just he's got to, like, he'll change up words and just he like likens it to like throwing a bucket of water on himself, and it basically is like, okay, I'm in the bit now. I'm here. I'm in this moment with this audience. Yeah. So I think that just comes with time and experience. But so, Whitney, did you bring a joke today?
No.
Make one up. You have to. We're rolling.
We got my quickest one. Dirty pics are like Pokemon cards. People collect them, show their friends, and I don't have any.
She cleaned up the wording of that for the podcast.
I took out all the bad words in my set so far. So
yes, dirty pics that are sent from guys.
I don't know if it has the same shebang as it used to, but I'm keeping it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't know people collected dirty pics.
Some people do.
Girls do that, huh?
Because it's funny. Well, I mean, I wouldn't know.
Out of embarrassment for the guys who are stupid enough to.
It's either that if you don't like him, or it's more if anyone sends a dirty text that a guy sends you, it's like to help craft the perfect text. Mm-hmm. I think sexting is a team sport for girls because we all help her write the perfect line back. And we think about, do we want to like raise the ante, pump the brakes, match his vibe? What about your personality? Let's like sprinkle that in.
That's pretty horrifying. If guys knew there was like a focus group on the other side of any sort of.
It's my favorite.
Dude.
Okay, it is a nasty writer's room on the other side.
Wow. I guess PSA for guys out there. If you're ever inclined to send a explicit message, there might be 10 girls on the other side.
No one's judging.
Reading it. Like, oh my gosh.
She shares because she cares what he thinks. So.
Yeah. You know, this is actually one thing that horrifies me is like girls talk a lot.
I'm the worst of them.
Yeah. Well, like there's an episode of Seinfeld when George gets out of the swimming pool and the girl sees him and he was in the pool, so there was shrinkage. And he was concerned that she was going to tell this to everyone, and he said back to Jerry's like, "I'm sure she won't tell anybody." He's like, "How do you know that? Girls are much worse. They talk about everything." Is that true?
It's our favorite.
Girls talk about everything.
About
that specifically.
Once you're in a relationship, no one cares.
Yeah.
But before that, yes.
Okay.
Everything.
Man. Well.
Sorry. Yeah. I didn't make the rules. I just follow them.
Well, yeah, we're kind of proving that today. Mr. Engineer, who, however many dozens of people have watched this will know that he was sweaty watching SVU.
Just take a blanket off. I don't know. Turn up the AC.
Oh, gosh. So Whitney's day job is advertising. So she's like, I picture that as like she's working in Mad Men or something.
It's about right.
So, like, explain your day job, I guess, and what, like, because
basically, I will think of ideas and creative ways to talk about brands on anything from social media to commercials. And lately, brands have been wanting to break into TikTok, which is the worst, but it's part of the job. So that's why I downloaded the app in the first place for work.
Just for work.
Just for work.
Have you put out any personal TikToks?
Like a couple, but they're no good. They got like maybe 13 views.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have. I forget why I made one in the first place.
For work.
For work? I don't not for my work. Actually, yeah, my company made us delete TikTok at one point. Yeah, I don't know if you remember way back. There was like this China.
Oh yeah.
Fear of like they were using it to steal data.
I was like, just take it. I got nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing you're going to get from me is like student loans, so.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah, that'd be nice if they took those from you.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything left to hide anymore. I mean, I probably do, but.
Yeah, after doing stand-up, I have nothing left to hide.
Mm-hmm. So you have to write a lot of things, like over the course of your advertising, your
brand,
what do you
like
call them?
campaigns.
Pitches, campaigns.
Yeah, you pitch campaign ideas to them. You pitch new business to get new clients on your roster. So
your campaign ideas for your clients, like what do you don't have to name clients specifically, but are you like writing jokes for them? Like are you making something kind of mundane exciting? Like how do you flare it up? Like what are you doing?
Well, they usually give you a problem. Like, we're seeing decline in sales here. We want to emphasize this benefit through, I don't know, this value that maybe. experience. We want to emphasize the value through like experiences, even though you might be selling a super mundane product. It's like, okay, what are the experiences around this?
Okay.
So you more have to tap into like emotional insights.
Can you give me an example without getting in trouble?
I'm trying to think of like stuff I did in school. I was talking about one of my old campaigns today for tahini. Do you know that spice? It's like chili and lime and salt. It's red.
Not really, but I don't cook.
It's basically what we did was it's really popular in like Hispanic communities, and you eat it with fruit and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so basically we would just like take the tahini, like basically put it on fruit in the shape of like bikinis, or like blur out things and be like, food's naked without it. Okay. Just like do clever things like that.
Okay.
Or I had a campaign for Idaho saying it was the perfect place for people who hate people because they have the least amount of tourists and people living there, I guess. Or like, it's go to Idaho. It's where everybody isn't. So just wrote a lot of jokes about.
That's kind of a clever flip on that. So they're trying to get people to go to Idaho by telling people don't want to go to Idaho.
Yeah. And so one of our extensions was, okay, we're going to have like a tour guide app that like will tell people to go on their itineraries at different times at different places so you avoid everyone.
Okay.
Because we were like, shoot, well, we can't tell people no one's here and then bring everyone here.
Right.
So then we had to think like, well, what do you do after that?
Yeah. That reminds me of one of Tom Emmons' jokes. He said, I don't want to get in trouble for playing one of Tom's jokes, but Tom Emmons is a great stand-up comic. He's
does a great 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Tom is he looks like a member of ZZ Top. He's got a beard down to about here. And I may have to cut this out because he won't ever come on the podcast. Tom thinks the podcast is the dumbest idea.
He does, and I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun. He's gonna come on. But yeah, Tom writes a lot of clean material, which I'm trying to write a little bit more clean now. But yeah, very good at the one-liner jokes, like a Mitch Hedberg type guy. So
yeah, he would have crushed it in my headline class in advertising school.
Yeah.
That's where I originally learned like the joke writing.
Yeah, tell us about that. So you went to school for advertising and you got your master's, right?
You don't get a master's. You get a basically a whole portfolio of work.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not a master's thing, but
okay, but it's postgraduate education.
It's grad school.
Yeah.
So basically I go and make fake advertising campaigns for 2 years straight for whatever brand I want to. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about one the other day that died, and I loved it. It was about Jell-O. And, like, you know how Jell-O is, like, not really real food? It's kind of chemically and gross.
Yeah, Bill Cosby was a big campaign guy for it, I remember.
I was thinking, like, let's make that into a positive thing, the fact that it's not real food. And just, like, I took facts from nature that were, like, really morbid, and that was the headline. So, like, you know, dolphins will take the weakest member and gangbang them for a week. And it's like, just because it's real doesn't mean it's good. Like Jell-O. It's not real.
Oh, my gosh.
So you just make yourself laugh for 2 years and hope the teachers like it.
Okay. Gotcha. And I remember you'd said that the teachers, like, critique your jokes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
they tear it apart.
Absolutely. And you're presenting, you're laughing, you think it's funny, and then no one's laughing. Then you realize, I need to leave. Mm-hmm. This is horrible.
Right.
So, yeah, the first, like, probably half a year there was a rude awakening.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I don't know how to write something funny or concise. So.
Concise. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
I had to learn that.
Yep.
I remember when I went to college, you know, in high school, when you think you can write well because the bar's a little lower because, you know, it's hard to write and maybe fewer kids can use big words.
And you're dragging it out to hit the 5-paragraph essay.
Right. Yeah. You're just trying to fill the pages.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I got to college, I remember I thought I was good at writing and I would try and be all fancy with
and
flowery
for this reason,
wording.
This is why I'm making my next point.
Yeah.
That is about to come up right now. Like
exactly. And my professor tore me up, dude. It was, I never saw more.
Kind of the best though. You look back and thank God
no,
for
it was
that.
good. It was very good that I got corrected out of that and got knocked off my high school high horse for writing. But yeah, being concise, that's a big thing for stand up too. Jokes don't work if they're too long or if they're
especially like the setup.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm learning to cut down my jokes because right now for advertising, I know what to cut down because It's all about brands. But then when it's about my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is all gold. And it's like, no, it's not. It's the same thing, just different topic.
Yeah. So you're trying to be more critical with your stand-up material?
Yeah, I've decided I've hated everything this week.
Really?
I think it's the same joke over and over and over and over and over. It's just she's alone and we say it this way. She's getting ghosted that way, and then she got ghosted again.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of other things about being single to talk about.
Yeah.
Although I did write one last one before I got here, but
Okay. We don't have to talk about it on here, but
it's about Ouija boards. How have I not explored that yet? And a guy ghosts you.
yeah.
Don't call and get your Ouija board.
So I don't even know. So the Ouija board summons dead people, right?
Supposedly. I mean, that's what I used in middle school, and some girl always pushed it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always said, like, Whitney's gonna be homeless. Because you ask it questions like, where am I gonna be when I grow up? It was always funny to give me the bad one.
Did you expect to be here?
No.
Are you? Where'd you expect to be at
Like,
at this stage of your life?
at what point in my life? Because my plan has changed so many times.
Uh-huh.
In high school, I wanted to be a hot mom in Richmond. So I was gonna marry some poor guy, or no, rich guy, but poor him, because I had no ambition at the point. Be a mom. And then last year, I was like, I'm gonna be in LA.
Last year you said that?
Because I have friends out there.
Oh, okay.
So, just want to go where my friends were.
Yeah.
But a little pivot to Greenville.
I think Greenville's gonna.
Greenville's been
keep
great,
popping off.
honestly.
I think it's gonna keep getting better.
I came in with a terrible attitude, and I've had the best time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, work's been great. The people have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have done stand-up probably
Yeah.
if I weren't here, so.
Has stand-up been overall very much a positive for you since you started? Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, I'm just very, very, like, a lot happier. Haven't blacked out since starting stand-up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Good.
Good. I mean, it wasn't that much of a problem, but I have noticed.
Right. So yeah, I was gonna ask you, this is a question I ask everybody, is what is your biggest like dumpster fire story ever? I don't know if it has something to do with blacking out or not, but
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You came ready for this one.
Yeah. I would say this was probably the turning point in my life to take myself seriously. So probably going from the trophy wife mentality to get it together.
Mm-hmm.
So I was maybe a year out of college, working as a waitress. I knew I wanted to be in advertising, but I was taking no steps to get there. I was like working all night, sleeping all day when I should have been applying to things.
Right.
Having a great time.
So you had an undergrad degree, but didn't have any sort of
job
that
I hadn't gone back
you
to
had
school
gone
yet.
to school for.
Yeah.
You were just serving.
I was resisting that. I was like, I don't want to go back to school. That's stupid.
Okay.
So I'm just like living this rock and roll lifestyle. One night my friends are, we're going to this outdoor concert. Great. I get way too drunk. And then we go to a dive bar where I decide I'm going to make some new friends.
Who were these people?
They were a kickball team. They were wearing matching shirts. I was just like, okay, this is a group that I want to be in.
Kickball team?
Do you have an extra shirt? So I make friends with them.
I feel like a kickball team could be pretty safe.
That's
but
what
normally,
I thought.
but I mean, it's not like a motorcycle gang, but kickballers are just like, ugh.
I know. I thought I'd learn a cool handshake, maybe get like a sweatband. No.
But what were these people?
These guys were older, and they offered me some Molly.
Sketch.
Which I had never done in my life, but I'm like cross-eyed, don't know who I am at this point, so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And like one of them had like dated my cousin who I'm not very close with, so I thought, okay, like we have connections. This is safe. So nothing really like monumental happens that night, but cut to the next morning, I wake up at my friend's house because my new friends obviously left. And so I was just kind of like floundering around, and my friend was like, okay, you got to be put to rest, my friend. So I sleep and I wake up to find that I had eaten through my face. Just my lip was just, yeah. So my friend's getting ready for work because he was a upstanding human being in this society.
Right.
And I was like, oh crap, I have work at 4 tonight, like a waitress with people.
Yeah, but you chewed through your face.
I chewed through my
Well,
face.
how did this happen?
I guess in my sleep. I don't know.
Because I grind my teeth, but I've never actually like
It doesn't even feel natural. I don't even know why I did that. I've thought about this.
Yeah,
so then
like your teeth come out way over.
I go home, my makeup's like all over my face, my lips a balloon, and my roommates are getting ready for work like, oh no, what happened to you? And I'm just gonna go lay in bed. So I'm like texting my friends like, can you cover my shift tonight? And they say no. So I have to FaceTime them. And then they were like, oh wow, yeah. So I got 3 days covered because everyone heard. That same week, my parents are moving 3 houses down from me. And they're like, come on over. And I have to pretend that I have so much work because what do you tell your parents?
Yeah.
So that happens. I get a Facebook message from my cousin who dated the guy, and she was like, hey, I heard you were talking a little shit about me at that bar. Just wanted to clear the air with you. And
wait, so when you were Blackout, you were talking crap about your...
I don't even know her that well. I was just probably making jokes that didn't land and probably just talking out my ass to like entertain people, as I do. But and of course she knows that. She goes, I know you're funny. So it was probably a joke gone wrong, but I just wanted to like clear that up.
That's awful. So you basically had not only physically were you...
I just ruined my life in one night.
Face, but you had to address awkward family energy from your cousin, and you had to hide because your face was...
I couldn't make money for like a few days.
Yeah.
So, and it somehow got infected. It was a disaster.
It did? Dig.
Yeah, so eventually I had to face my parents, and it wasn't all the way fixed. So they were like, what happened? I was just like, yo, a guy was just dancing at the concert and hit me in the face, which is not believable.
It's not even that much better.
No, it's... I mean, it's better than taking a drug from a random man.
Oh, yeah,
So
Molly. Yeah, Molly.
I eventually told the story to some friends later on who were like more well-versed in the drug world, and they said that wasn't Molly. That was speed, which I didn't know what it was until I decided to look it up a couple weeks ago. It's meth.
It's meth.
It's meth.
So Whitney took meth.
By accident. But that was my turning point.
From a kickball league team.
From a kickball star. He probably wasn't even the star. He's probably the worst one on the team. I don't know.
I would say kickballers should be known for having good drugs, but...
They just need to know what they have.
You don't take things from strangers.
Don't say it's one thing and then it's another.
Well, they might have been like super white collar and not known it's meth. Do you think that could have been the case?
That's maybe.
Maybe they were just like...
Regardless,
didn't
it's
know
still
how to buy drugs. Like, yeah.
It's still a sensitive topic in my family of what happened that
I wouldn't
night.
know what I was getting, but...
Yeah, that's why I just...
It's still a sensitive topic. They still...
They still get mad about it. They're like, we will find out one day. Man, maybe they will.
Whitney making her parents proud.
I know.
Just stand up and...
I used to be the favorite.
Right. But after that, you went... I cleaned up, got your...
I got the first desk job I could get, which was medical billing. Even more boring than it sounds. It was 1 hour of work a day. And then I would do intricate doodles on some Post-its and decorate my cubicle, which after a while was a bad look because they were like, are you working?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
You would do doodles? What would you doodle?
Just anything. Just little like swirly, kind of flowery, kind of little characters. I don't know.
Do cartoons? Not
so much cartoons. I like the idea of it, but I don't know. I'm more just kind of abstract.
Abstract? Okay. I love doodling cartoons. Like when I was little, I would, or in middle school, grade school, I would always draw like a guy, like he kind of had eyes like the Simpson characters. And it would always be kind of like the same guy, just, hey, I'm bored in class.
Yeah.
Waving at you.
I did that growing up too. I would draw the same girl.
Yeah. It was supposed to be kind of you a little bit.
Kind of me, but purple eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still me.
Mine was kind of me. I didn't know how to make it look like me though, so it was kind of just a guy. But yeah, I always had that. Like whenever I had downtime, I was always bored, and then writing little stuff. And I think I might have done that in my first office job too, a little bit, depending on how slow the work was. But yeah, okay. Well, who's your favorite comedian?
I would say Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer.
You know, kind of like just like an inspiration. You know, I feel like for young girl comics, just because. Like the guys are great, but I don't know. You kind of like see a little bit of yourself in her too, which is nice. And I salute her fearlessness and like what she likes to talk about. So
yeah. So she's got a lot of dating material. A lot of innuendo type stuff. Which I'm not crazy about that kind of material.
You're not.
No, but we talked about this before off the thing. But yeah, I get jealous. That's why. That's the reason.
That's such a strange reason.
Well, it is. Yeah, I had that joke. Like I think every girl in the world should be single or with me. That was the joke. Or yeah, that's how I feel. So when I hear about interactions with other guys, I'm like,
where was my invite?
What the? Yeah. How selfish of you to not. Yeah.
See, I just like.
It's irrational completely.
Absolutely. Like, you're kind of a psychopath, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But like, I like that material because, funny things happen in those situations, but you're grown.
No, totally.
Or you're raised to not talk about it, but it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of annoying that you can't let's just laugh about it. It takes away the
to be like, a more fair perspective. Like if I was being more reasonable, I'm kidding about that. But the sex stuff is like, I mean, like so many people, like everybody knows about these things. People don't talk about it though. So to go there to those places, it's why it's funny.
Right.
And I think it can be done in a way that's not totally vulgar. But still funny.
I like the challenge of making it not vulgar right now and like taking out every bad word I used to have and trying to make it charming.
Yeah. So like how long have you been following Nikki Glazer? Did you discover her a while back or?
I probably discovered her a while back. I feel like I'm kind of late to the stand-up game in general. It was only a few years ago I realized that this is really funny. Like this is something I'm very much into. I never really thought about it until I started like just watching Netflix specials here and there. Right. And so she was one of them. I think the first one I saw of her was on the stand-ups. Yeah. I like the 20, 30-minute sets people have.
Yeah, that's a good show. And I saw Nikki Glazer. She's actually the reason I stopped drinking, or one of them. Talked about that before.
So mature of you.
What's that?
It's so mature.
It's like the one thing in my entire life that is.
Yeah, I know. The rest of your apartment says otherwise, but it's fine.
Okay.
But he's sober, so it's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Just looks like he's not.
It just looks like I'm 15.
Just looks like you're on meth.
Yeah. That's actually a reason I did get sober, so I have an excuse to be immature. It's like, hey, I got some part of my life together. Judge me for my posters. No, but Nikki Glazer, though, so it's the sobriety thing. She went on Joe Rogan's podcast. And I can't remember if I've talked about this. Hopefully I haven't before. But she recommended a book by Alan Carr, The Easy Way to Stop Drinking. And that one, I had just had like a really bad hangover and a day of drinking I regretted. And I discovered that.
Just hit different that day.
It did. Well, she was so passionate about it. I think Nikki had been sober for like, I don't know how long. She might be like going on 8 or 10 years sober.
Yeah, and she's vegan. It's like, what can't she do?
Yeah. So I think she still smokes the marijuana, but that's like maybe one.
Well, you got to get by somehow.
One indulgence, yeah. But yeah, she got sober, and she said after that, like her creativity, her the quality of her work, everything just increased exponentially. She didn't miss it at all, and like that book kind of did it for her. And I had a similar experience. It kind of was like a light switch once all that stuff was illuminated.
I bought it too. I bought the book too.
Yeah,
I haven't finished it, but I get the point. I'm still drinking here and there.
Yeah.
But I haven't blacked out, like I said. So
yes.
It's done something right.
Yeah, more gradual, but well, good deal. Well, this is a heavier question in the interview. What is your biggest regret in life?
I would just say not trusting myself sooner. I've always been the person that lives in a way that like, is this okay? I'm always asking for permission, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, do what you want to do. Like, I wanted to be in advertising, but I felt like I couldn't for some reason. I had some mental block, whether it was like, what will my parents think? Is that actually even possible? And then eventually I just thought, I hate everything. I'm moving to Atlanta to live on my friend's couch. And
yeah, wait, so walk me through that. So when you were doing the bar stuff, like, or working as a server before you went back to school, were you in Virginia, your hometown?
Yeah.
So you had to make the leap from moving there to Atlanta to get into the advertising thing.
Yeah. Okay. I was on the phone with my friend who's living in Atlanta, and I was just complaining about how much I hate everything. I hate my job. I hate being in Richmond, everything's horrible. And she said, I have a pull-out couch. Do you want to live on it? And I said, yes. So I quit my job the next day, called her back, said, were you serious? Because I quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was in Atlanta a few weeks later.
Wow. What did your parents say about that?
They were like, okay, you're going to a school called the Creative Circus. You're living on a couch. This is your journey.
Wow.
That's what your 20s are for, I guess. But it ended up well. So
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that also translates into like relationships, though. I never trust myself to end them in the right manner or the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I dragged them on for so long.
Okay. So, so it's cool. So you have the procrastination that you're battling, but you end up taking the leap.
It's like, and when I do, I like jump in head first because I've just been like pent up so long.
Yeah. Well, it's good you actually have it in you to do it, though, because I think there are people who never do.
Yeah.
And the ball of misery that just grows and grows and grows can be really bad.
Some people enjoy the ball of misery.
I guess, or they just become dead inside.
Yeah, they're just numb to it. I don't know.
Like working in a cubicle in a job that you hate and not
just
pursuing alternatives.
Doesn't matter how many things you decorate it with. It's still that same cubicle.
Yeah. Well, then there's other things that like you can kind of medicate with, like alcohol or just being lost in your phone, which actually I'm addicted to my phone.
Back to TikTok.
Yeah. But there's distractions and things to. But yeah, trust in your gut. Like that's definitely.
Mine is so clear because I ignore it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, do I have like schizo? Like it is just like so loud and clear now that I can't ignore it.
Do you think since starting stand-up you're more inclined to trust it quicker because you're braver? This is a theory I'm working in my own head.
On stage or off stage?
Off stage.
Off stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Because on stage, there are gut impulses to respond to this person or that person, but I'm too afraid to do it and then get messed up or get tripped up in where I am.
Yeah.
But off stage, listening to myself, don't give any rips about anything.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that too. Like once you've conquered the fear of doing stand up for the first time and you're doing it regularly, the challenges or like the things you need courage for in your normal life seem pretty insignificant.
Then what's the worst that can happen? You have a new bit to work on.
Right, exactly. Like you don't I had in sales, like you have to cold call a lot. Cold calling, some people are nervous to do. Like, what if they tell me no? Well, if you do stand up, you're like, you can't possibly be any worse than how I bombed last night. So
right, because you're looking them in the eye.
So yeah, I think the courage thing is helpful and hopefully for trusting yourself. Well, that's good. So what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I would say if you're rejected from something, wasn't for you. I've been rejected by so many jobs. Even right before going back to school, I was trying to get something, and even during school. And I'm like, why am I not getting this? I have this experience, I have this, but I wouldn't be here right now if I had gotten any of that. It was all just like rerouting, like nope. Yeah, rejection's just rerouting. Okay. Saw it on Instagram. It's very basic, but it really hit.
No, rejection.
That's why it's like rejections are actually good things.
Rerouting is a good way to put it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like a flat out no. Like you shouldn't just give up, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not what
or even like when some guys have rejected me, like in the past, like I might be like really into them and I'm just so like upset about it. But had he not rejected me, I wouldn't have gotten the balls to do this, and that. Like, again, wouldn't be here today if certain people hadn't dumped me. So
yeah. Well, there's always somebody else. There's always other fish.
There's always somebody else. I've told myself that since high school.
But yeah, rejection is that can be pretty devastating, but it's helpful. Like if you have the ability to kind of pick up and move past it.
It's kind of my favorite now.
Yeah. You kind of get addicted to rejection and failure doing stand up. But yeah, we are at 44 minutes. So these are getting a little longer, but I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we go, where can everybody find you on like your social media and all the stuff like that?
You know, if you want my cleanest jokes, Twitter, Whitney_Rayner. And then my Instagram, nothing special there, but appreciate a follow and a like.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me on Facebook.
All right. And how do you spell your name?
WHITNEYRAYNER.
I guess it's going to be on the heading of the video, so I don't need to. But
I mean, let me just say
you
the
know
alphabet real quick.
She knows how to spell her name. That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you next time.